Welcome to Chatting Chronicles. We are here, another episode. Today is going to be a controversial topic that Ryan and I are going to debate, and it's going to be a load of fun.
Two best friends just talking, life lessons they be stalking. From the questions of the day to the dreams that lead the way. Friends chatting, here we go. Take it fast and take it slow. Stories old and stories new. Just me and you.
And we are live. Welcome, Ryan. How's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
It has been a hot day today, 91 degrees on the time of recording, but it's been a good day because you know what today is? You should know what today is.
My parents' anniversary.
Correct.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary to second mama and papa. 51 years.
51.
51 years. My anniversary of 22 years is coming up this week as we are recording. Anything fun this week?
No, but we did some stuff and spent a lot of money.
So last time you earned some money, this time you're spending money. I love it. I love it. Today I got a great topic for us, and that we're going to go through some other things, but I have a great topic for us today that we don't usually disagree on things. We usually agree on a lot, but I got something that we do disagree on, and it's going to be a good one. Ryan, I got our first beer for tonight. It is another Three Sheeps beer from Sheboygan. Last time we tried the
armchair quarterback.
Armchair quarterback. This time I have a Three Sheep shorts and hoodies. So this is a great beer as well. It's a Beer Garden Pilsner, so it's a little bit of light beer. It's a Pilsner, but it is it's growing on me. It's one of the new ones that I tried this year.
Shorts and hoodies.
Shorts and hoodies, because who doesn't like wearing shorts and hoodies, man?
The other one was armchair quarterback.
And that in the next episode, I got my last Three Sheeps beer for us to try. So,
I like it.
So let's crack these open. Oh yeah, there you go. That sounds delicious. Trevor, you what do you got over there?
Some nice ice mountain water.
Ice mountain water. You can't go wrong with ice mountain water.
Can't go wrong with the agua.
It's better than Rouge River water.
It's probably filtered from there.
So anybody that doesn't know, Rouge River is a river that runs through the Metro Detroit area where we're from. It is known that if you go into the river, you might come out with a third hand.
Or a tail.
But Trevor, first thing we got to start off with is you have to fact check us because there's a few things that we did not get right, you said, or did not answer. So can you catch us up to speed for those who may not or maybe have listened to Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, but know that they're like, what are these guys thinking? They're full of nonsense.
Yeah, so I only got two things here. The first one was when you were talking about Swoops Ford.
Oh, for Cheryl Swoop. It wasn't
Cheryl Swoops!
So it wasn't Cheryl Swoops that we were thinking of. It was Cheryl Ford. That is correct. I will blame that on the Mandela effect, Ryan.
I know. This is my bad.
Cheryl Ford played for the Detroit Shock. Cheryl Swoops played for, I don't even remember now.
Who was it? L.A., right? Was it L.A. L.A. Sparks?
L.A. Sparks. We'll go for that. Trevor will have to fact check on that one too, man. All right, so there's the first one. What was the second thing that we...
So last episode you asked me what Coach Missoula, where he started off,
yes.
What college, and then you guys just kept talking, and then you never let me answer. It's Fairmont State.
Fairmont State, okay.
Where is that?
That is a good question. Where is Fairmont State? I do know that he was successful there. I want to say Fairmont State is a Division II school.
It's in West Virginia.
So you did say West Virginia, I think.
I think you said West Virginia.
Did I say West Virginia?
Yep.
But Fairmont State is I believe, a Division II school, so not too bad. All right. Anything else that we missed up?
That's all I have for today.
That's all right. Hey, man, we'll take that. We'll take that. Right, Ryan?
Two is not bad.
2 is not bad. Better than 3. All right. Ryan, you got to get us started today with a question of the day. We forgot to do this last time. And what do you got for us?
Okay, so this is just like standard practice. Imagine you're going to a party, and it starts out in the house, your buddy's house. Is it rude to ask your guest to take your shoes off?
Okay, so is it rude for the host to ask the guest to take your shoes off? Do you want me to answer first, or are you going to answer yourself first?
Let's talk to the younger generation here.
Good question. Good call. Good call. Trevor, what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, the whole time, like anytime I've gone to someone's house, like I just went to my buddy's house today, I was in there for, 15 minutes. I took my shoes off right away, but I feel like that's also kind of how I was raised a bit. Whenever we go into the house, you take the shoes off at the front door. You don't walk around with your shoes on.
Right, it's manners.
Yeah. That's probably, as Trevor mentioned, being my son, one of the things that we kind of just instill that we do as soon as we walk into the building, our house, or anybody's house, unless they say you don't need to take your shoes off, we're automatically taking our shoes off.
Doesn't when they say that, doesn't that kind of like make you feel a little weird? Because then you're like, I'm doing everything opposite of what I'm used to doing.
I do. And I guess it depends on the situation or the occasion. Like we'll tell guests sometimes when they come to if we're going in and out, like we're sitting in the backyard mostly, but you got to come in for the bathrooms or the food setting. Don't worry about taking your shoes off.
That's because you got a good setup where the bathroom, entertainment bathroom is,
yeah,
and where you walk out. That's actually pretty perfect.
Yeah,
it's not much cleanup. There's
no. You could spill a little bit though on the carpet.
What color is your carpet?
It's a light blue, and it has a nice little
little
bit of wine stain on it.
There's already.
That's an inside story for my wife that's going to be listening. She'll love it. My wife does love her vacuum lines, though.
Yes, she does, because I made a comment about that, and she's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, she loves her vacuum lines. And that's just something, when we go to somebody's house, even if they have hardwood floors throughout, we're taking our shoes off, or starting to, unless they tell us not to. So I know you probably feel the same way on that.
Yeah, especially if you have the Don as your mother. So yeah, it's definitely, to me, you have to take your shoes off, whether you're asked to or not. It's just a polite thing. People take pride in their houses. Everyone's always cleaning. So yeah, that's my general.
I agree, Trevor.
I have a little poll for you.
Okay,
what do we got
from the Washington Post?
Oh.
They made an article in October of 2023, and basically it says is that the poll that they found is that most Americans remove their shoes inside when they go inside. Okay. They also more than 3/4 don't require guests to do the same, though.
So that would be over half.
No, so over half take their own shoes off when they go inside, but they don't require their guests to do it.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I guess I don't know, because I've actually had the situation where I've had the person not to be named walk through the house, and it's like, I know where your shoes have been.
Yeah.
It bothers me, and yeah.
No, I can completely agree with you, Ryan. I think getting back to your original question, is it rude? 100% no. It is not rude. It's almost rude if you do wear your shoes in, just thinking I am going to wear my shoes no matter what your house rules are. I think that's, we talked about empathy last episode and being a good leader, being a good coach, having that empathy. That's kind of, I think, goes in the same realm, that caring for what the other person wants and does. It doesn't matter, if they have certain rituals at their house, you follow their ritual. You are a guest in their place. You follow what they do, even if you don't necessarily do it at home, or you necessarily agree with them. You follow their rules. So anything else on that before we get to our controversial topic?
Well, yeah, so, I mean, along the lines of hospitality and stuff, so you're the guest and you're coming over, so you take your shoes off. Are you obligated to bring something?
If you ask my wife, yes. Yes, you are. That's a great point because Trevor and Aiden just yesterday of this taping went over to Horv's house to play a little airsoft.
Oh, okay. You have to tell me how that was.
It was fun.
Yeah?
It hurt when I went to go take a shower this morning, and I took my shirt off. I just see a bunch of like red dots all over my chest and stomach, and I didn't realize I got hit more than I thought. But I mean, my hands have been covered in them as well. For the most part, you get hit, stings for like 3 seconds, but the ones where the skin breaks, that's what hurts really bad. I got like 4 of those on my left hand.
You take that hot shower, and it's like,
yeah,
right, yeah.
But Trevor, did you take anything to his house?
Yes.
Really?
And were you
even just for a fun outing? Okay.
And did he invite or say that you have to bring anything?
No. But he actually did not want me to bring anything, but
besides water.
Besides water, but Mom, being
the amazing wife that she is, and amazing mother and host and hospitality,
she
insisted.
Forced me to bring something along.
What'd you bring?
She made
this is beautiful.
Michigan Jello, some yellow and some blue, little Jello
that were in the shape of M's.
Nice!
And it says Michigan on it.
Yeah. That takes a lot of. That's very, very creative.
And like we went over to a friend's house the other day for the 4th of July kind of activities, and even though we brought something to dish to pass because that was we were like, hey, bring a dish to pass, but we also brought some desserts, an extra thing. We always bring something to somebody if we're going somewhere, even if they say not. It might be just a bottle of wine, but it's at least something that we are bringing over to somebody's house.
Because you're showing your appreciation for
even if they say don't bring anything, just yourself.
Like even when we went to Wisconsin, we drove 6 hours. You guys, every time we go there, it's always bringing something along.
Yep, at least a bottle of wine, and then usually I'll pick up a pack of beer, like I did, and so forth. But and that's visiting family. That we're going to make sure that we show our appreciation, that we appreciate being guests in the house or the party or wherever we're at. Any last words on your end?
Well, so I haven't always done this, and I do know that, yes, I mean, you do absolutely. And it took actually a little bit of it being constant, as other people have been doing to kind of get it in my head to finally, like, yeah, you should probably be bringing something.
Yeah, but I think it also depends on where you're maybe at in your life or, being married compared to single, that it's a different atmosphere maybe, even that you weren't trying to be rude, I don't think.
No, it's just I'm concentrating on trying to get here on time.
Yeah, so I think you make great points. Anything else that we need to talk about before you and I get into a battle here? I want to get into this battle with you because we've talked about this topic a few times and so forth.
I'm still like there was a couple things that are
for those who are at home not watching. Ryan's looking up on all of his questions on his phone.
Well, yeah, because basically I run these questions past Dan and our buddy Phil, and so it's going off of that.
Did Phil ever answer that question?
Okay, let's see what he said.
Because you did ask us that, was that a day or two ago from the time of taping?
Yeah, let's see. I'm with Dan. Yes, it is, but backing up.
As he's looking it up, Trevor, why don't you talk about the course a little bit? We're going off topic a little bit, but talk about the course of your airsoft episode.
Oh, okay. So basically, Horvath had they have land, lots of land, a lot, and so there's a lot of wooded area, and so basically, almost in like a pass of threes going vertical from north to south. There's lines of trees and grass and whatever, and then going horizontally west to east, there's some overarching curves going around that kind of connect it, and that's where we played some capture the flag. But then in one like quadrant of the course, he built a bunch of like almost
like a town. Does he still have that little town?
Like
area?
a little town thing. He had some makeshift like ballistic shields that you could use as well. It was even second levels too. He had some ladders up so where you could shoot if you got the high ground, be in the tower.
That's awesome.
That is pretty sweet.
It was fun.
And he got Horv out, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
I snuck up behind him. I snuck up behind the encampment, and then I shot him. And then I went inside, and we were playing Embassy, where we needed to go in and take down their flag and put their flag up, and no one else was back there. And so I kind of just snuck in, and then I just put it up.
So it's like playing Call of Duty in real life.
Yeah, it was fun.
That is awesome. And I know Aiden played also, had a great time.
I'm shocked you didn't go. That's like right up your alley.
It is. I had other stuff I had to get done. Plus, I don't know if I wanted to get hurt or shot.
It hurts. I'm
So
not even good at. Even
I might be a little
paintball hurts.
Paintball. I've been shot in the back of the head with a paintball gun before, so I don't know. Maybe next time he does. He said he wants to. So Horv, if you are listening, we love you. Thank you for having my boys over and be able to have a fun time on that. All right, did you find out what Phil is saying?
Phil said totally fine to ask guests to take their shoes off and blank the experts.
That is Phil Wagner. There are you. All right, we're going to try to get Phil on the podcast sooner or later.
One of these days.
One of these days when he's not working.
Does he even know we're doing this?
We told him. We told him
it's our idea. But
you don't know what we told him? Well, we will have to get him in on some of these because
Hey Phil, we told you about this.
Yeah, we told you about it, Phil. We love Phil. Phil has a great viewpoint on all these topics that we talk about in our inner circle thing on Facebook. So you ready to battle? I feel like Bruce Buffer.
Michael Buffer. Ring a ding ding.
Thank you. Trevor doesn't have to fact check that one. Are you ready?
Let's get ready.
All right. So here is our topic, Ryan. Zipper lanes.
Yes.
Merging, for those who don't know, zipper lanes are where you have two lanes that are merging into one.
Construction zones.
Construction, yeah. And zipper lanes are meant one way,
but people do completely the opposite.
And I'm 100% in the camp that you see a sign that says merge over, road closed ahead, you merge over as soon as possible, and you ride that line. But you are, on the other hand...
Which line are you riding? Making it so that people can't get around and work how a zipper lane should work?
I'm in the camp. You saw the sign. Get over as soon as you can. If that is, you have a spot a mile before the road close, get over. If you are, if it takes you a half a mile to try to get over, get over. What I am not for are for the people that drives in the free lane, the lane that's closing, until the very, very last second and then trying to force their way over.
Why? Because that's when they zip in. And then another car goes and then you zip in. And then that way, the constant flow of traffic makes everything move slow or moves faster.
So do you want to take a second and maybe talk a little bit about it?
So I can even play devil's advocate on my own self because I actually was the person who didn't like anyone passing, but I had a truck, so I would be the guy that actually would get over like for that entire mile, blocking everybody behind, and that you're a part of the problem, because then that's how many cars that can't zip in, and then it's even further logjam up just because you are the a-hole that's blocking everybody up.
So I will say this. If people did it correctly,
yes,
I would not have a problem with zipper lanes. My problem is everybody races up to the front,
right,
and wants to be the first one over. So my theory, backed by my own evidence, is if everybody got over as they could within that timeline before they get to the finish line of the lane close, you get over, and let's say everybody's moving 30 miles per hour in the left lane, right lane's closing, people are coming over as they can, you're not going to stop. Everybody's going to keep moving 30 miles per hour. The problem to me comes in is when everybody is moving 30 miles per hour in the left lane. For the people listening on the podcast online on Spotify, I'm showing people with my hands here. If you're moving with your 30 miles per hour, and then you have to stop because 5 cars are trying to at the last second.
That's the mistake right there. When you just have to let 5 cars in.
See, and that's why. And that what
1-1-1-1.
But that's not how they do.
Right.
And that's why I'm like, you know what? I want to block you out, because then that way you have to get over
100%
and be able to. And that way that everybody does. Well, if everybody did it properly, it would be okay. But the problem is nobody does it properly.
Nobody does it properly.
So get your butt over as soon as you see the sign so we can all keep moving forward. That's my take.
I get that. I mean, because, like, for real, like, when you have that and you... But there's a...
I have another scenario in this conversation too.
Right, yeah, because there's another zipper lane. You know how things work. There's another type of a zipper lane as well. But no, just to clarify what I'm saying is I still like in this day and age.
You get over but you wait to. You probably get to when you're up closer to
yeah.
Where I'm like a mile behind.
Well, I'm looking to see that slow poke that's kind of like, keeping everything up, and then there is like a gap for a car. Then boom, I'm getting in.
Yeah,
I'm not holding anything up.
Yeah,
I'm not purposely.
And I'm okay with that. I just don't like those idiots that try to.
Well, so there's that mentality too, and I get that for sure. But there's also the mentality of how dare you get in front of me?
Yeah,
well, that right there, and that is why that. There's road rage. Everything else is like that because,
and I'm pretty calm, somewhat. Trevor could probably fact check me on that.
Is that true?
It depends. Teaching someone to drive and you're in the car, much different.
So conditions are different then.
It is
based on the condition.
And if I'm in Chicago or if I'm in the city of Detroit,
now, if you're in Chicago and forgive me, Chicagoans. I mean, you got to drive how you got to drive, or else you're going to get run over.
Or trying to leave a busy sports venue.
Oh, I hate leaving Little Caesars Arena.
Right? Yeah, for the garage.
Because you have road closed. You have a bunch of police are directing, and people are not following always the direction. Or the lane, because there are some merging lanes, and people just want to do what they want to do, and it ticks me off
100%. Because that is it, and this is where we get because just everyone needs to go, everyone needs to get to where they're going. Just fall in line,
yeah, and take your time because we all want to get home safely. We're all tired. It's late. We've been at whatever concert or
11, 12, even 1 sometimes.
We all want to get home and get in bed because most of us are probably working the next day. Just take your little bit of time. So sometimes I'll do it. Like I always pay for parking at like the LCA, Tiger Stadium, whatnot. Or not Tiger. I always say Tiger Stadium.
You got to say
Comerica Park.
That app is sweet.
I always park, so I pay, and even though I'm paying a little bit extra to get a spot that, where I know I can go. Because the last thing I I guess, OCD-ness, even though I'm not necessarily OCD, but my OCD-ness, not knowing where I'm supposed to be, and then trying to figure out, like, if you give me I'm supposed to be at this place, and I don't really know the area, and then there's a road closure, and GPS doesn't know how to take me.
Pick it up. Yeah.
That I get so frustrated. Mm-hmm. Then I want everybody to stop talking so I can concentrate. You turn the radio off so I can see and listen.
Right.
I need quiet so I can figure out what am I doing, where am I going.
So I'm similar to that, except I need to have a navigator to do that for me. So I'm frustrated because this didn't pick up, but hey, at this point, get me to where I need to go.
Yeah.
And no one's listening, or anybody that's listening on a podcast, or I'm pointing to the passenger. Like,
he's yelling at the imaginary passenger next to him.
Get me where I need to go. And then I'm just driving in a circle at that point.
You know what I hate? And we're getting a little bit off topic, but GPS, and my wife says this happens to her too because she works downtown. Coming back on 96, it will, for some reason, GPS will ask us to get off of the freeway, miles before our normal exit, just to get back on the freeway.
Oh, yes.
For whatever reason, it wants us to get off and then back on.
And
it could be any middle of the night where there's no car, like there's no traffic. It's not like sometimes, you can get an exit and jump on when there's a backup a little bit to bypass a couple cars. Again, why are you doing that? But I can see that. This is like middle, there's no cars on there. It's saying, take this exit. And then, like the one time I was following, I'm like, okay, I'll take the exit. Because maybe there's a crash that I don't know about. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, get back on the freeway. I'm like,
right, you just took us on the service drive
to get back on
exits to get right back
on the freeway. So
you know what's funny about that though is if Google Maps is like telling you to do that, to be like, oh, it's quicker because there's a traffic buildup. Guess what? Google Maps is also telling every other person that's in that traffic buildup, get off, then get back on.
You know what's funny? Trevor and I have this conversation too all the time. Like in Google Maps, you can say, oh, there's a police, police out there.
Waze, right?
Yeah, kind of like Waze, or there's traffic backup. Trevor and I are like, oh, there's a police there, so I'll mark it on the map saying there's a speed check. And then Trevor's like, yeah, I think the cop's up there saying nope, because they'll ask you, like, when you get, is the police check still there? Nope. So we go back and forth on that.
So I'm that guy that's like, nope, and it's still there.
Trying to mess up those speed. I don't speed usually. I mean, that I don't. To me, I just let it go. Here's my next question. Staying with zipper lanes, because it's kind of like a zipper lane. You're at a red light.
Mm-hmm.
All right, two lanes at a red light. You're able to go forward in both lanes, but the right lane, shortly after you cross the thing, ends. Do you get over the left lane even if the right lane is empty?
So I'm talking specifics because this is on my day-to-day drive. Beck Road, right?
Yep.
Ford Road.
Ford Road right there. Yep. I know exactly where you're talking about.
There's like 25 cars that are a Dan Burke.
Yep. Because the lane's closing, so you're following the rules. You're getting over because you know that the right lane's going to close.
But there's nobody in that lane, so boom, there's Ryan in his rig, and I'm going. And as soon as that light... Now, I'm getting better because here's the situation. There's people that blow that light.
Yeah.
So, boom. I mean, you go and take off as soon as it's green, you're getting smoked. There's last-minute left turners.
Yeah.
And at that point, then you're getting smoked again. So, I'm getting better, but before it's a drag race off.
So, you are in that right lane. Trying to beat everybody.
Trying to beat old Jack Smith
right next to you. See, and I'm the one that, you know what? You know it's going to close, lane's ending, so why don't you just get over there so the people that need to take a right-hand turn can take a right-hand turn.
Well, no, it's actually good because there's even another lane so they can take a right.
Yeah, at the Beck Road one,
Yeah. So, I mean, that's really the only thing. I mean, if it's a route that I travel on the daily. So if it's somewhere that I'm not familiar with, of course, I'm going to stay, because.
And I have done that too. Like if I don't know the road, like I'm in the right lane, and for some reason I don't realize after the light it's going to close. I'm the ones I hate, being in the right lane and trying to merge in.
Right, and you're like, sorry,
waving my hand up, hoping that they don't yell at me or curse at me or anything like that.
But I figure my engine's bigger than most people. I got a 6.2 liter in my truck,
so you can beat me off the line.
I can beat most, yes,
for sure. So I think it goes back to, again, empathy. Being kind to each other. And if people did the zipper lane correctly and moved everybody over as you're supposed to, then traffic wouldn't slow down. Traffic wouldn't stop. So I agree with you on that part.
So now let me bring this up. Now, we're not going to spend and go off topic for 30 minutes or whatever. But so do you believe in karma?
Karma. I want to say...
Because this could take up a whole entire podcast,
this
karma. But let's just touch on this. Do you believe in karma?
Not in the spiritual sense.
Right.
But I believe that if you do good in the world, you will be rewarded. And that could be many different ways rewarded. Again, not in a spiritual sense.
Right.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if I'm kind to my neighbors, not that like I get special treatment once I go to heaven, but that I will be blessed with happiness. I'm reading a lot about being happy, and as my teachers are going to be reading this year, is how to change our mindset to be happy, even in bad times. But I think I'll be rewarded in ways that otherwise I may not have been rewarded. It's a fine line. I don't want to get into the...
Right, yeah. No, so in this case, I'm thinking of like, you are the out-of-towner. You're in from Chicago. You have a business in Westland. And you're on Beck Road, or you're on Ford Road. And I think that it's karma when you were to let somebody over kindly, and you kind of notice that, oh, well, yeah, that's a Illinois plate. It's like, if it
was a Ohio plate, maybe not, but
no, they get that back end of my bumper, so that
especially if it has Ohio State Buckeyes,
all that. Yeah. This is a podcast that we do not like Buckeyes.
We are all pro Michigan here on the Chatting Chronicles.
However, like and subscribe, Buckeyes.
Yeah, we'll take your criticisms. So to finish this topic off, so we can move on to the next topic. Do you know on Warren Road, and I don't remember where, I'm trying to think if it's Hicks or whatnot. So if you're driving straight, the left lane is, you can either go straight or turn left. There's no left turn lane. It's just, and then they have like a round, like you can merge around if somebody's turning left. So here's my issue I have, my complaint. There are people, when we're stopped, there's car stop. If nobody has their blinker to turn left, are you allowed to go to the right lane? Because to me, you're not. Go in that right lane, because then
so you're headed like to my house.
So you're heading to your house on Warren Road, going to, I think it's Hicks or
I think it is Hicks. You're right. Yep.
So if you're in
blinker,
that,
you just get over.
So some people, if you're taking a left, you're obviously in the left lane or straight lane.
This is another zipper type situation.
Zipper type of situation where you have to be in that lane. The only time you go around is if somebody's taking a left and you're not stopping. So if you're stopped here, say the first two cars are in front of you, they're both don't have their blinker light on.
You don't get in that lane.
You get in your...
Because, in my opinion, that's not enough time to do the drag race maneuver.
But
much shorter.
You know how many times I've been in there and people
100%, right.
So that ticks me off. That really ticks me off. Then what ticks me off even more, so there's a car or two in front of me, and they don't have their blinker light on.
But they wait, and they turn.
And then the turn's green, and then they turn their blinker light.
Their blinker on.
Oh.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's like, why? Just do what you're supposed to do. If you're taking a left, put your blinker on, so I know then I can move over. There are times where, and and it's probably bad that I'm admitting this, like maybe there's 2 or 3 cars, and I can't see if the first car is taking a left or not. So I'll just kind of be in the middle, stop.
I do that.
Stop. So I'm in the middle,
and
then be like, okay, let me gauge. Yeah. Not that I'm trying to get around somebody, but let me gauge to see.
So in my opinion, that is not a bad thing.
Okay, all right.
Because you don't want to know, and you don't want to be the jack dude who's just like, doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, because you're only the third car in.
Yeah.
Because that area is so small that it's like 1, 2, and then boom, you can either make that decision. So yeah, you're correct.
Right another podcast, we're also going to need to talk about our railroads and train crossings and the nonsense but where you live over there at the area. We were trying, again, that's off topic. We were trying to go to some restaurant, and it took us like a half an hour trying to get around a train that was like stopped. Trevor, you're still a new driver.
I guess.
Couple years into it. What are your thoughts on the zipper lane and everything that we talked about?
I mean, I go under the philosophy of, like, when something like that happens, that kind of, if you're wanting to be a defensive driver, the best defense is being an offensive driver. Mm-hmm. So just I'm a bit mean. Sometimes I don't let them in.
That's my son.
Just because, like, well, this person's trying to come in, and I don't know if they see me. Sometimes they'll try to wedge yourself in so much.
Yes,
to where,
they wedge in.
Like they're.
So I've been that guy. It's like, well, I guess we're going to hit.
Yeah, and I don't want to deal with that. So I will be riding the person in front of me's butt the whole time.
Then we're going to hit.
Because I don't want this person coming in front of me. Plus, also, I've been waiting in this line for 15, 20 minutes, and then you decide to just come in.
100%.
He is my son.
I don't want to deal with
that guy.
That.
And then you're going to be waiting longer because we're going to be having a police report. Boom. That's how exactly.
See, he is my son, Ryan, on that. So zipper lanes, etiquette, move over as you can. I would be okay with it. I want to go on to another topic, still driving topic, that is becoming more of a controversial topic in Michigan that is more common elsewhere, but we're seeing it in our area a lot more. But before we do that, I think it's time for your choice of beer.
I'm thirsty.
So what did you bring us tonight? And what did you like about the shorts and hoodies?
So shorts and hoodies isn't bad. I mean, I wouldn't go out and personally buy this, but if this was at like your house, I'd be like, hey, I've had this before. It's pretty good.
It's not bad. It's kind of a refreshing little, take the edge off of things. When you got to wear shorts because it's hot out, but you're still kind of cold, so you need a hoodie on.
That's it. Well,
that's Wisconsin for you. That's
Michigan, Wisconsin.
Midwest, the same Midwest, thing. Midwest, right. You got. I mean, you take Aiden. Aiden wears a hoodie all the time. It could be 90 degrees out. He's probably right now outside in the hoodie playing basketball. That's just what he does. But what did you bring for us?
So I have Bell's Brewery.
Okay. Good Michigan brewery.
Hazy Hearted IPA.
Oh, I am an IPA fan.
Yes, it's a very hoppy beer.
So this is a little bit different than a two-hearted IPA that Bell's creates as well.
Yep, and then there's a double IPA, all that other stuff. But this is a hazy IPA.
So IPA stands for Indian Pale Ale. For those at home that don't know, my wife does not like IPAs at all.
Well, that's the problem. The problem is it's got that whole that pine type. It's a citrusy type taste. You get that kind of situation going.
All right, let me taste this real quick before we get to our next topic. Oh, that is good. Yeah. I truly do love an IPA. You gotta love that sound. Bell's is a great company too. They have some great beers out there.
This one definitely has a grapefruit hint.
And Trevor's still drinking water over there.
Yeah.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with water. I love water, too.
You ready for a fill up there, Trevor?
I'm good.
Okay.
All right, Ryan, here's our next topic. We got a few minutes left. Sticking to the driving realm of things, roundabouts.
Roundabout.
You work in Ann Arbor.
Yep.
So there are roundabouts all over Ann Arbor now.
Very, very, yes.
And in a roundabout
way,
again, I go back to if it's used correctly, it's not a bad thing. What is your hot take about roundabouts, good or bad?
So I'm positive about it because it cuts down on like T-bones. T-bones will kill. T-bones, paralyze.
Yes.
And this way, if someone's doing it the wrong way, the worst thing you're going to do is two cars collide, separate.
Yeah. In Rebecca was in a T-bone accident years ago when Trevor was still in her stomach.
I had several.
You have had a few. So the T-bone roundabouts does eliminate that capabilities, unless I guess you just drive straight through and
yeah. Which happens.
It does happen. I remember years ago in the city of Mason, Michigan, there was a roundabout, pretty new, and a car didn't stop.
Right
just
through.
if you're not watching online, he went straight through, hopped up, and so forth. When we go to my aunt's and uncle's house, we go through what? How many roundabouts, Trevor? Do you think?
Probably 3 or 4. Like 3 right next to each other, and then there's like a 4th one just somewhere
There's a
else.
big one. They're right off of the 5 freeway, and close to 96 there is a Pontiac Trail, I think.
That is Pontiac Trail and Metro Parkway.
That's
the biggest one.
That's a huge roundabout.
It's the third biggest one to be exact.
And I don't like that roundabout.
No, it's many lanes.
It is a mini lane roundabout.
Many lanes.
The other roundabouts are not a problem. My problem is when you're driving and the car in front of you, even though there's nobody coming into the traffic, stops.
They stop, yes. It's like, what are you doing?
I have almost hit people plenty of times.
The thing. That's like how majority of the accidents happen.
Because it's like, why are you stopping?
Right.
Just drive.
Keep going.
Keep going. There's
nobody.
Nobody's next to you. Now, European roundabouts are all over, and they've been popular for many years. It's for Michigan, at least.
It's fairly new within the past, 15 years.
And so forth. I've been seeing them popping up, especially even on our trip to our aunts and uncles. They've been adding multiple. Ann Arbor has been expanding them all over the place. Almost every exit off of 23 goes into a roundabout, which, again, I think it's a great thing as long as people use it correctly. They stop when they're supposed to stop. And also, the thing is, a lot of times there are walkways with roundabouts.
See, that part also scares me, too.
It scares.
You can't have pedestrians involved in that.
Because pedestrians are supposed to have the right-of-way no matter what.
Yeah, and then so it's like people are already learning about these things. They're not going to be thinking of a crosswalk.
And I'm, like, watching the cars, and then a person tries to... I agree. To me, that's the scariest part is if, a pedestrian walks it, especially if they walk in the middle of the road, but in a crosswalk where you might be driving 40 miles per hour coming into a roundabout and not knowing where they're at or seeing them and so forth. Trevor, what do you think about roundabouts? As you've driven a little bit again.
Well, I think the big thing is it's like when talking to you and Mom about all that, like when you guys were in driver's ed, there
wasn't roundabouts at all.
So I think that's another big thing is you have like these people my age who have learned how to actually drive properly in a roundabout,
which is good.
And I feel like the people who don't are
the older people,
are everyone who hasn't had that in driver's ed.
Yeah.
And now I like them. To be honest, I like the multiple lane roundabouts.
Like the big one?
I like the big ones because there's 2 lanes. The rightmost lane, that's if you're either going right or you're going straight. The left lane is straight or left.
But that goes into the zipper lane.
Not always.
Not always.
Sometimes it feeds into
But
two lanes.
I
as
know
well.
exactly what you're saying.
At Getty's Road in 23, if you're in Michigan, right by Concordia,
Ann Arbor, yep.
Getty's Road, it's a 2-lane. The left lane for the roundabout, you can either go left. I don't know why you would go left in the first one because you just have to turn around, or straight. But the right lane is to go straight because you're not turning yet until you get to the next one.
But to be honest, I think a lot of the problems that stem from that as well, I think that's not entirely driver's fault. I think it's also architects' faults and planning out and trying to bring a more modern roundabout thing into something that was designed long ago when they didn't think of that and keep that in mind.
Right, you're trying to put a circle in a square.
Yeah.
That reminds me of one of my favorite YouTubers, Real Civil Engineer, where he hates architects. And if you have never seen Real Civil Engineer YouTube channel, he plays like games and stuff, but he's a real life engineer. He does poly bridges. He'll create bridges and stuff, and the video games. There's a Beaver game that he plays where you have to like build a civilian or a city and stuff. It's just reminded me of that. I digress, Ryan. I'm sorry.
Well, so my thing is this, because I'm a little more comfortable with a roundabout because, I have a history of 20 years in landscaping.
Yeah.
So I was always the driver guy. If it had wheels, I was the operator. And approaching some of these, driving a bigger vehicle, trying to have to stop when smaller vehicles are there.
Yeah.
So I definitely have, respect for, that kind of a situation, and you can't be...
That comes up. I mean, again, this is off topic. Semi trucks. Mm-hmm. How much respect do you give semi trucks as you're driving?
So with my background, I give them a lot. And when I see one in front of me, it's like, damn, because I let them in.
Yeah, I let them in. And I'll do. I'll flash them so that to let them know,
right, yep.
And they park
do their brake lights,
lights and stuff. I don't like. Again, I have a love-hate relationship, I think, because I'll love them. I'll give them. Obviously, if there's between him or me, it's going to be him that wins. If there's going to be a thing, and I want to give him the space he needs to, either slow down or speed up. What I don't like is if I'm going 75 miles per hour on a 75 mile per hour road. Semis are only supposed to go to 55 at the most.
55 or 60, yeah.
Depending on
because it's a governed truck, yeah.
But then they're going like 70 miles per hour. It's like, and then you're trying to pass.
What are you doing?
And then you're trying to pass me and stuff, and then
it's forcing you to speed.
It's forcing me to speed, or if I slow down, because then he has to get over, then I have to re-speed up because I'm going.
You lost momentum
and stuff. I give them, and then. I give bikers also a lot of space and a lot of respect.
100%.
Now, Michigan we don't have to worry about like in California. When I lived in California.
I know what you're talking about.
Because bikers were allowed to split lanes. They were allowed to go
in between cars.
In between cars.
Who does that?
Well, and to them, their reasoning was because if they had to idle, they would overheat. So if they were in a traffic jam, and I don't know if that's true or not.
That's an older thing with the older bikes. But
yeah,
I know what you're saying.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I just know that bikers, during LA traffic, they would definitely speed, go between, and I would move over, and they always respected that. I would get the, thank you kind of high five or wave as they go by, but at the same time. Don't do things on purpose because you can.
Right.
So last thing, Ryan, this has been a great topic. Great zipper lanes, roundabouts.
Yeah, we actually didn't disagree too much.
No, we didn't. We've had. I think we've had more of not a hostile debate about it in the past. Maybe we're at a different.
Right.
I just remember the one time, Wagner, you and I, we were all in the car together, and we were debating the zipper lanes and so forth. That's why I wanted to bring it up today. Kind of go down memory lanes as last time we talked about the Red Wings while we were driving around the Westland area after the Stanley Cup. Today's drive, all about driving. I have a memory, and I know you have the same memory of a drive that you and I took that maybe not went as planned.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking about there? You want to go pull the Band-Aid off and tell this story.
All right, so Mom, Dad, Carol, Tom.
Those are my parents.
Yeah, those are Dan's parents.
So real quick.
Parents.
As we mentioned in chapter 1, if you've not watched chapter 1, go back and watch chapter 1, the start. We talked about we've been best friends since kindergarten. Ryan's mom and dad are my second parents. My mom and dad are Ryan's second parents. They could discipline us. They could love us. They do everything.
Bit of it, yes.
Every bit of it. We have gone through heaven and hell together. So this is a story
that hasn't been told.
I don't think fully ever.
Never.
So go ahead.
So
sorry, Mom, Dad.
This was my idea.
It's all him. Blame Ryan.
Many of these stories start out with, "Hey, Ryan had an idea." So we're
of age.
Yes, we were of age. Yes, this time that we were of age, but it's like we didn't have the means type of a thing. But then it's like Dan was able to get a car. No, I had a car too. I had a car right from the start.
I was home. I was home from college.
That's right. So he was like, I said, let's go to Canada. And Dan's like, okay, I will drive. Do you know what vehicle we were driving?
I'm trying to think. So
that you were driving.
I was driving. So along that time, we had the Lumina, the green Lumina. Was it the green Lumina?
It was not. Older.
I was going to say the purple Saturn. Who has a purple Saturn? Can I pause your story real quick? So we had a purple Saturn that I inherited this purple Saturn when I went to college and so forth. When my wife and we were ready to get a new car, so we were going to trade in the purple Saturn. So we went to the dealership. We picked, I don't even remember what car. I think it was the Cavalier.
You were in California then?
We were in California.
Right, okay.
Which Anaheim wasn't too far, and Saturn was built in Anaheim. We had I want to say we were buying the Cavalier at that time. Another good car. I love that car.
Cavaliers were great. They're the escorts of Chevy.
Yep. And I want to say, we were going to trade the Saturn in. And we were talking to the guy and so forth, trying to negotiate prices, okay, we got this Saturn we want to trade in. So we were talking about, how many miles, what's the condition. It was in good condition and so forth and blah, blah, blah. So he gave us a price. I'm like, all right, that's fine. The Saturn was old at that time. It was time to retire it. And a little bit later, the guy came back. He goes, you know what? I forgot one question. What color is it? And I'm like, purple.
Barney.
I'm like, purple. And he's like, no, really, what color is it? I said, it's purple. He's like, are you serious? I'm like, yes, it's purple. And then he's like, who has a purple car? I'm like, everybody had a purple car that whatever year it came out. Susan had a purple truck.
She did. It was a Purple Ranger. So
purple was in color at that time. Because my parents picked a purple Saturn, he took out $500 off of our negotiation price. Anyways, awesome. So it wasn't the purple Saturn, right?
No, but okay, so real quick. I don't know where we're at on time because my dad and your dad, we work for GM. GM.
Yep. Your dad was at the powertrain.
The powertrain in Ipsy.
My dad did batteries.
Batteries, yes, the battery plant. So what happened was they had a program. It was called the PEP program, and you get vehicles with like under 1,500 miles or whatever, and they had such a great deal on them. So I think that's where yours came from.
It could have been. And back in those days, too, you had your employee discount.
Yes.
Plus, you had the GM credit card.
Yeah, right.
And you could use both to, which then once I got a GM credit card, my first credit card was a GM, which can be another totally different episode. They took away that you couldn't double dip anymore.
I remember with that day.
Yeah, and so I was like, well, why do I have a GM credit card then? If I can't double dip, my dad's employee discount is much cheaper, a better deal. So anyway, so it wasn't the purple Saturn,
Nope.
Wasn't the green Lumina. I'm trying to think what other cars we had.
It's a song, the Champagne Super.
My Chevy Nova.
The old Chevy Nova.
My hatchback.
Yes.
Jason got the hatchback.
I was going to made in Detroit sticker.
Yeah, he took that off. Jason, if you're watching, I want that sticker back. It was a great Hockey Town, made in Detroit sticker.
And you're living in that?
So my Chevy Nova.
Yes.
So we were driving my Chevy Nova.
We were driving the Chevy Nova. We were getting probably 5 miles away from the bridge.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that part. Yeah.
All of a sudden, yeah, we heard this big bang. We're like going left to right in the lane. I mean, we could honestly have spun out, but Dan's careful steering led us to the right side of the road.
The shoulder, yep.
So the safe shoulder. And I also want to say that it was like 10:30 at night. And it was very
I didn't remember.
How far into Canada were you?
No, we weren't even there.
We weren't in Canada.
We weren't even into the bridge
it was
yet.
5 miles away from the bridge, so it's still not a nice area.
We were
night.
we were on the freeway, but we were up the hill was burnout buildings.
Yes, it was complete.
So we were in Detroit, but not downtown Detroit where it's nice and safe. We were in the outskirts, but we were on the freeway, so we weren't.
No, but the whole time, I said, I'm going to change the tire. I'm like, Dan, look over the back. There could be coming down the hill.
Yeah, we were so scared that we were going to get mugged or...
And it was such a premature thing with, cell phones were such a,
Did you have a cell phone?
I did. I had an old Qualcomm.
I did not have a cell phone. I know that.
No, that was the thing.
I didn't have a pager or nothing.
I had a pager too, but the cell phone, it was an old Qualcomm that my boss in landscaping, because I went right into that, and it was had the dial for and I couldn't get a signal, and I had to put money on a card to make the phone work. I mean, we're talking primitive ages.
I remember when Rebecca had probably her first cell phone. We had to call a number to add the minutes to the phone, and half the times the call didn't work. We lost minutes and so forth.
It was how did I blow through 400 minutes?
Yeah, the struggle. Trevor, you do not even know the struggles we had with cell phones in the early days. And I didn't get a cell phone until 2002 after I got married. That's when my first time I got a cell phone.
Okay,
but the fact that we could not text really that much or cost money. Every text costs money. Every phone call before 7 p.m. cost money, or unless it was the weekend. Nights and weekends were free. And every text you sent out and received. So Trevor, just think about how many texts do you? I mean, you probably don't actually. Your age friends don't really text as much as anymore as.
Well, I mean, we don't use messages text. We'll use other programs to text.
But let's just say those
Discord.
your Snapchat,
Discord or Snapchat.
Right. Let's say every time you send a message was a text message. How many texts do you think you do a day?
Oh, a lot, because I don't put it all in one paragraph. I'll send like a sentence or a line at a time.
So just think,
boom, send it again, boom. Yes.
Just think, you send the word yes, like how you respond to your mom and I sometimes in text messages, one word answers, that's 10 cents, 10 cents, 10 cents. 10
Imagine
cents.
that, yes. So you get through a whole conversation on a normal basis, and you're already about $1.50 right in. And keep in mind, $1.50 back then was actually kind of pretty. I mean, it was like,
it was expensive.
Damn, I have a $5 budget here.
Hey, $10 you could fill your gas tank up multiple times.
99 cents when we first started, bro.
So we got the tire changed.
Got the tire changed, but
Thanks to Ryan, because I was like freaking out.
Well, yeah, you were concerned about what Mr. Burke would say.
What Mom and Dad would do, what they would say. I was upset because that the tire blew. So that, to me, that went, all right, that costs money. Mm-hmm. All right, we're not where we're probably supposed to be. Probably, I know. Probably, knowing us, we probably shouldn't have been in Detroit at that time.
No, I think we were supposed to be at the movie theater.
Good old Showcase. And we were in the middle of Detroit. I do remember, we got off the freeway. Didn't we stop at a 7-Eleven or something like that?
We did, because
why did we stop?
Gatorade. Of course. Now it's Red Bull and Monster energy drinks, but before, for me, it was always, I need a Gatorade.
We had to stop in some middle of Detroit. And back then, Detroit wasn't as... I mean, Detroit, there are bad areas. There's a lot of great areas of Detroit. We love Detroit. But back then, Detroit was not the Detroit as is today. And I don't remember exactly where. Like, every time I drive into Detroit, I think of that story.
Right.
I do think of that.
You look over at the, when you get kind of, it's like, were we here? Oh,
yeah.
Maybe it's here.
And I, as somebody that has ran the Ambassador Bridge for the Detroit Free Press Marathon, I do respect that area and love it and so forth. That was a travel story that I had in my mind too. So, and then when you said, you wanted to tell this story, I was like, you know what? I was thinking the exact same story.
Yep.
So with that, Ryan, we had a great topics today, great conversation. If you're not following us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're on Spotify, you can find us there as well. We appreciate all the love that we are getting on the shorts that we send out. That takes a little bit of, a minute or less of what we're talking about. We would love to involve you guys as much as possible. Hit our community page on YouTube. Did you know we have a couple of polls up on that right now? No. On our community? So we still have the do you wash your feet? I'm going to pull it up here so Ryan can see real quick. We have the do you wash your feet question up there for those who don't know if you wash your feet or not. And then the last one was from the last one. If you were a hockey player, would you rather be hit by an octopus or a rat? So far 100% of you have said an octopus. So,
excellent.
So either they are Red Wings fans as well, or they just feel that an octopus is something better than
feel better, right?
I think I would feel better too if I got hit in the face with an octopus rather than a rat.
Well, yeah, because they carry diseases. They're rodents.
Does octopus carry disease?
I mean, maybe because they smuggled that thing in and it's been in out of the freezer or fridge for hours.
But I do love. I mean, it's not an octopus; it's a baby squid. I love calamari.
Me too.
Calamari. That's one of my favorite.
Calamari is sweet.
Trevor, do you like calamari when we get it?
I mean, yeah, I do. I try to stay out of the seafood world.
So what kind of calamari? Remember, because it comes in the little
You got the rounds or you got the legs?
Rubber bands. Yeah,
which part do you like? I love the legs part.
I like them at all.
I like them both too, but usually I'm the one. I don't think you don't usually eat the legs part. If you have it, you have the round part. Yeah, a restaurant that has good calamari is a-okay for me. But that's another. We could talk about food in another topic. Trevor, do you have anything else you want to finish us off with?
No, I don't.
No. Trevor's quiet there. He's like, you guys sucked at this and that. You got this wrong, and you're so old that you don't know what young people want. Ryan, last words.
Be kind to each other.
With that, we are out.
Two best friends just talking. Life lessons they be stalking. From the questions of the day to the dreams that lead the way. Friends chatting here